What's up, Jammies? Welcome back to another episode of Ricky's Ram Jam presented by Barefoot Wine. I hope everyone had a fun and safe Halloween weekend. Tweet me your costumes. I want to see the best Jammies costume ever. The Cowboys game is in the rear view, and even though the outcome wasn't what we had hoped for, Coach McVay talked after the game about what he took away from the game and how the team can respond in Week 9 in Green Bay.
What I did love that I saw was Jordan Fuller's interception in a tough moment, to be able to get that pick. I thought offensively, especially at the end of the second quarter, you go 16 plays to be able to score, miss on the 2-point conversion, and then they take our offense ends up taking the opening drive right down the field, converts on the 2-point conversion to cut it to a 2-score game, and you lose Matthew Stafford on the conversion. And with what he means to this football team and how many different things that we still kind of had in our back pocket that you end up losing when you lose him, was tough to overcome. But the guys kept battling. There's a lot of things that we can learn from, and this is what sports is about. How do we respond?
Speaking of Coach, we had just finished recording last week's episode when the announcement of his son was released, and I just wanted to say a personal congrats to Sean and Veronica on the birth of their baby boy, Jordan John McVay. The way he talked about naming the middle name after his grandfather was so touching, and it's all over Rams social media and mine. Go check it out. It was really beautiful, and it made my heart so happy. We just added one more jammy to the fan base by default, so we'll take what we can get. All right. I'm going to fill out my barefoot cup and raise a toast to our next guest. She's a host for NFL Network. She's the team reporter for the LA Dodgers. Ever heard of them? And she is one of our in-stadium game day hosts. It's the one, it's the only, Kirsten Watson. Kirsten, hey!
Hey, I really wish that I had brought like a glass of wine to, actually toast to you with. It's a little early, but it's never too early to have a glass of wine.
My motto for life is it's always like 5 o'clock somewhere. You know what I mean? Like the world keeps on spinning. It has its axis. So yeah, it's never too early for barefoot wine. I totally agree with you. It's so good to see you.
Time.
I feel like it's been such a wild kind of past few months with this season, and I feel like I've bumped into you briefly, but everyone's like, oh, like we all work together. I feel like I haven't even seen you, so I'm so excited to be able to catch up.
Literally, or when I do see you, you're on the screen. It's like I look up and I'm like, oh, there she is. But I'm also wondering, I'm like, how did you're going around doing interviews, and I'm like, how did I just like not see you all day? And then I look up and I'm like, oh, there I am. Look at her go.
Same with you. Yeah, it's so good. So we're talking right now about the in-stadium experience for the Rams, and you're such a huge part of that game day experience. Take me through your Rams game day routine.
Okay, so it starts very early. And I don't think people really realize how early we have to be at the stadium ahead of the game. So say it's a 1:05 game start. We are there at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And we are rehearsing at like 7:30 a.m. So we are there all day essentially. But it's cool because we set it up. So during the week, we'll go through our scripts and we'll do kind of a quick rehearsal to go through a couple elements. If there's anything new that we're adding in, or just to kind of sit down and talk a few things out, especially when you are doing, whether it's television or, in stadium type things. It is nice to kind of go through what everything is about to look like before you actually do it. So that'll be earlier in the week. So then come game day in the morning, it's literally running through as if like it's a
real
test run, a live show. Exactly. A dress rehearsal is the actual name of what that is called. And then we will kind of take a minute, because then our producers and like all of the elements will go through, because it's literally like we're running the whole game.
Show.
So it takes, it takes about an hour or so to do that. And then you kind of get the energy going, because there's a little bit of angst and excitement. It's about to happen. And there's all these fans coming into the stadium. And then it's showtime and we do it. And you're like, wow, we just did that. And it's exhilarating and exciting. And then the game starts. Then you watch the game. We've got different elements during the breaks or different promos that we're doing. And then we get ready, and if they win, we'll do a walk-off interview and wrap things up, and then that's it. So
nice.
From 7 a.m. to like 5, I guess.
5, yeah. It's such a marathon of a day, but I love it. It's my favorite day of the week, honestly. What's your favorite part? Like you just said, there's different elements. Like, do you have a favorite segment that you get to do that, you know, you're looking through during rehearsal and you're like, oh, I get to do this once in a while. I love this one. Or do you have like a staple favorite?
You know what? This might be like kind of a simple answer, but the pregame show is my favorite because it really like gets the day going, you know? Like that is what kind of intros then the fans into the stadium. It sets up the game. It gets kind of just this excitement. I think fans are now at that point like really settling into their seats. As soon as the show ends, the players come out through the tunnel. So it kind of is just like that's the moment where it's like, all right, it's time. And yes, like obviously game day is a very like, you know, it's serious all day and the players are locked in. But like I do kind of feel like in that moment, it's that shift of like, I've been so kind of focused on myself and like being like, okay, like I'm getting in the zone and I can only imagine the player's perspective from that moment as well as like, you know, they're going through their routines, getting into the zone, kind of getting themselves locked in. You obviously usually have music in the locker room, things like that.
It's a show. It's show business.
Exactly. But I do believe like at that moment when you come through the tunnel, the fans are there. It's kind of like, I'm in my zone, but now I'm like welcoming everyone else into this moment as well and like literally feeding your energy off of theirs. So to me, like that's the really special moment. Yeah. I feel like that's like awesome. My absolute favorite.
I thought you were going to say my kids say what segment, but I won't hold it against you. It's okay.
I really do like it.
I set you up for that. And you struck out. Speaking of striking out, you've been a Dodgers team reporter for 3 seasons. Okay, first of all, that's a 162 game journey versus
plus the postseason. Don't forget about the postseason,
okay. Which the Dodgers have been a very big part of in the past few years. Yeah. What does that shift from baseball to football been like, and how do you shift your, I guess, like? Is the way you prepare differently? Is the way a game feels different? Like what's the difference there?
Yeah, it's completely different, to be honest. First, I'll start with just the transition from baseball to football is very jarring for me, just because one, the sports are so different and like how you talk about baseball compared to how you talk about football. It's one of those things that I think because baseball is every single day, you become very ingrained in it. And so I have found now that I've like had to transition back to football, and there is a overlap for usually a month in which, or I guess 2 months in which I'm doing both. And so I just have to kind of like be on top of it because now I have to study a lot harder for football because I'm in baseball so much right now. So like before when I was a full-time NFL employee, I don't think you really realize when you are surrounded by a sport. And so when you're in the NFL offices, obviously NFL Network is playing all day. You kind of have, you know, just more of an understanding of like where players are, different coaching trees, things like that. And to be fair, like you keep that information inside, but there's obviously a lot that happens every day. It's one of those things where I get excited because like I'm never getting bored because I'm constantly learning so much, you know, like I feel like there's still every day. I'm even talking with Maurice Jones-Drew yesterday and we were doing Monday Night Football and like listening to him as well as Greg Rosenthal and kind of how they're breaking down certain, whether it's players or kind of different moments in the game, like you're constantly taking in information. And that's what I love so much about being in this space. My job for the Dodgers is to make sure that our viewers feel more connected to the players through different stories. And my job for the Rams is to make the fans in the stadium feel more connected to our players on the field through our screen. So ultimately, like when you look at it like at that level, it is essentially, I guess, the same job as to like what my role is. However, my day-to-day is completely different. But it's what is asked of me in these two roles is completely different.
And you do such a great job at both. It's such a pleasure to get to watch you on our screens. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. You won a World Series covering the Dodgers and a Super Bowl covering the Rams. You weren't with the World Series?
I did not win a World Series. Everyone thinks I did, but I joined the Dodgers in 2021. So they won in 2020, so I didn't get a ring.
Ah,
which makes me
man.
sad. I did have to do the
does.
ring ceremony though.
Okay.
And I did present rings to all the employees except myself.
Oh, that's the worst. That's exactly what happened to me. Is I joined the Rams right after they won the Super Bowl, and I got to go to the ring ceremony, watch everyone get their rings, and that's when I brought a ring pop, a big blue ring pop, and I was wearing that on my hand and like showing the players, and like I just remember the laugh I got out of Aaron Donald from that is like one of my most like prized moments in comedy. It's just like he was dying laughing, and I was like, it's not that funny, but it made me feel amazing. But I was gonna.
But I guess I am really funny, so thank you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I was like, well, you're right. So that is great. Okay, so but let's say the Dodgers continued on in this postseason right now.
And I will get a ring. If they win, I get a ring.
You will. And
I believe that they
another
will.
One with the Rams. That's coming. For sure. I guess I was going to ask you to make an argument about which one you think would be more rewarding for each.
Okay, so that's a really good question. In the NFL, it is so challenging to make it through a full regular season, get to the playoffs, to maintain being healthy, to have success, to get the results continuously. I mean, I think even when you look at just this season in particular, coming into the year, I think everyone kind of had this idea that maybe the Eagles, the Chiefs, these teams were going to kind of like likely take this season by storm. But now we're at the midpoint of the season, and it's kind of like no one's really like, we've got kind of middle of the pack. I mean, the Broncos just beat the Chiefs. No one saw that coming. And yeah, usually the Chiefs will like kind of give one game away that you're like, I looked a little shaky. But like, then you also have the Eagles who are playing the Commanders this weekend, and the Commanders almost won. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. Anyone can win. And it's funny because it's the same thing in baseball. This year we saw 3 of the 4 top 2 seeds knocked out. I recognize how valuable a championship is at any level. For me personally, to have a Super Bowl ring that has my name on it, to be, how the Rams welcomed me into this organization and made me really feel a part of it, that is something that I'm forever grateful for. And I think in general, like the opportunity to even have a Super Bowl ring is just like very slim. Like not many people have one. And so to have one that literally it says like my name, Super Bowl champion, like the beautiful box, it rotates.
Okay, rub it in.
I'm so sorry. But like
rub it in.
It is absolutely stunning. Now, for me personally, I do have to say, like, if the Dodgers win a World Series while I am a part of this team, that would also be an absolute honor, because I do think when you do put in that much work, and I am with those boys every single day, like I literally see them more than I see my dog, and my dog lives with me. All of that, I just feel like that would be a very rewarding experience, but I can't say like, I mean, that might not ever happen. And I'm not going to ever take away the fact that I do have a Super Bowl ring, and like that is an incredible honor and a privilege to have as well.
I mean, to be a part of Los Angeles and the sports world in this team with in the city with the Lakers, Dodgers, Rams. I mean, it's just such a unique sports town. The Rams head to Green Bay on Sunday, and the rookies are continuing to show out. I mean, Puka Nacua, Byron Young have won half of the Rookie of the Week honors this season thus far. Like the belts, like I don't even know where they're going to put them at this point.
The belts.
What has impressed you most about this rookie class?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is I'm not going to speak for the organization. I'm going to speak for myself, and I think for some of the fans. I don't really think there was any expectation of the rookies this year. I think it was kind of just like, all right, we've got some young talent. We'll see what they can do. But I don't actually think that there was kind of like this idea that they were going to be so impactful so early. And the fact that they have done just that, the fact that Puka Nacua has 795 receiving yards right now, like that's insane. So just how they have stepped up in their respective positions, stepped up for this team as a whole, I think that has exceeded all of the expectations. When it comes to the rookies, for me, it's just kind of like what's impressed me the most is how they've genuinely exceeded every single expectation I think
Yeah.
that anyone had.
I want to do something called Prediction Corner. And we're
Okay.
each going to give a prediction for this Sunday. And I want to
Okay.
put some stakes on it. If I'm right with my prediction, you need to post an Instagram story just like talking about how smart I am, like good looking, like some sort of
I
like
could do that.
Erica tribute. And if
Yes.
yours is right, then I have to do the same for you.
Okay.
I
just want you to know, like, I would do that for you any day. You know,
same,
like,
same. But this is more.
Okay.
Maybe I need to make it more embarrassing. I'll think about it. Like maybe like in sing song form or something on your Instagram story. So
I'll
no pressure except all the pressure. So this prediction, if we're right, you know, there are consequences here for the loser essentially. So my prediction for this Sunday at Green Bay is there will be a 2-2 touchdown.
Do you want to break down why you feel like that is your prediction?
I could. I just feel like, you know, you have Puka, you have Cooper Kupp. You know, we're not sure about the quarterback situation come Sunday. I think, you know, you saw Tyler Higbee getting involved a lot more last week. I just have this gut feeling that in Green Bay, in the cold weather, there's a guarantee that 2-2 will be in the end zone.
Okay. All right. I've got 2 for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I am going to say Aaron Donald is going to get a sack because Jordan Love was sacked 4 times by the Vikings. So I feel like things are looking good.
Okay.
I think Witherspoon's going to get another interception.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. I really feel like this game for the Rams is a must win. Like
it's a defensive showout too. Yeah.
Yes. I really do believe it is. And I think that the Packers offense has been struggling. I think our offense is going to have to find a way to get to them early in the first half. And like that will set the tone of the game.
You better hope it's Witherspoon for your Instagram's sake.
I know.
So that's prediction corner. Kirsten, before I let you go, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, the same 3 questions I ask all of my guests, and it's rapid fire style, okay?
Ooh, let's go.
If you were about to have your last meal on Earth, what would it be?
This is a very hard question, okay? Because my theory is if it's my last meal on Earth, I get to have everything I want. So I'm going to go with like, I don't know, maybe like a miso cod and a vegetable and some, I don't know. This is too hard.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's it. That's your last meal.
No, I want a teriyaki salmon too.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You want like a sampler. That's how I would do it. Yeah. You need to have it all. If you could live in an amusement park, a shopping center, or another fun place, where would you choose and why?
Disney World. Because it's the happiest place on earth.
Great food, entertainment.
Yes.
Theater. Yeah, that's a great place. What would a collage of your life include? We're printing out photos of Kirsten Watson. What's going on that collage?
Oh, that's a really beautiful question.
Thank you.
It would be my family, my friends, my dog. I like to travel a lot, so it would be different places I get to go to. It would be the beach. I love the beach. I love the ocean. And there would definitely be some sports in there. It would probably be like a stadium or 2, probably SoFi and Dodger Stadium. Because I'm there all the time.
Your second homes.
Yeah, that would probably be it. And then there'd probably be some just like really exciting moments that I've been able to have, whether it's been in my career or that's something that like I take with pride and I work very hard to be in spaces. So there would be that. But yeah, I think like the biggest things would be like my family and my village. It's like what I like to call it because they keep me sane.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Kirsten, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me today. You're so busy. You do Monday Night Football, UK for NFL Network. Like we said, we're Rams. We're ramming out all the time. I appreciate you. I know how busy you are. It was so great to see you. And then I'm looking forward to the rest of the season with you.
Thank you for having me, as always. I always appreciate hanging out with you, so thank you.
Of course. All right, you guys, that does it for this week's Ricky's Ram Jam. Make sure you tune into the game on Sunday. We need this win ahead of the bye, and we'll see you then. Let's ram it.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our videos.